Good morning to everyone. My name is Dorothy Grace D, Alkuino, and I am tasked to have a report about the purposes of portfolio assessment. Our objectives for today are define terms and concept of portfolio assessment, to identify the advantages and disadvantages of portfolio assessment, to explain the purposes of portfolio assessment, and lastly is to provide the guidelines and examples in constructing portfolio assessment. So what is portfolio assessment? Let's start first with the origin of the word. So portfolio was derived from Latin word portafolio, which contains the words porta, which means carry, and folio, which means sheet, shed, or leaf. So, portfolio assessment is a purposeful collection of students' work that showcases students' efforts, progress, and accomplishments in one or more aspects. So, this is the collection of students' work like their drawings, essays, poems, and many others. So it's a collection of their work throughout the course, and their best outputs was gathered and open for audience to see. So moving on to the features of portfolio assessment. So it's a type of assessment that students complete in collaboration with their teachers. So portfolio assessment can only be successfully carried out kung nagtabangay ang teacher ug student. Kaya mga student man ang muhatag sa product sa portfolio assessment, din ang teacher ang mo-guide sa student how it should be done. So another one features is it is a collection of what students believe are the best things to include. So in a portfolio assessment, it is preferably to only include the students' output in where they are confident or comfortable to be showcased to a lot of people. So it is best to consult the students first by the teacher. Samples of the students' work. Students' output ang main event sa portfolio assessment. So of course, that will only be the things to showcase during the event. So, sa purposes of portfolio assessment na ta. So, ang first purpose kay i-assess ang quality which ang mga coursework, learning progress, and academic achievement of the students. Another one is to determine whether the students have met learning standards. So yes, it is one of the purpose because through the compilation of their best work, it is easier to apprehend if they meet the standards being given. It is already prepared, so doing the job is more convenient. The third purpose is assess students in reflecting their academic objectives and progress as learners. So, as their works are being compiled, it is easier to compare them with, with each other which one is better, and it helps them to realize that through time they're getting better and better. The fourth purpose is to establish a permanent achieve of academic work products, achievements, and other documentation. So since ang main event man kay ang mga students output kay kung unsay i-display nito sa purpose assess or sa portfolio assessment kay kung ano na siya marag property na sa school, but of course it is still credited to the student who created it, but it will be like showcased throughout the years or how many years. So the last purpose is to demonstrate a student's progress over time, promote students' abilities, and assess a student's learning. So through portfolio assessment, they are exposed to encourage to show their talents or area where they excel at. If it's in arts, literature, photography, and many more. So, sa advantages of portfolio assessment sa pagta. So, the first advantages is to reflect on learning. So, a portfolio assessment allows a student to reflect on their learning, self-assess, and develop a deeper understanding of the concepts they are learning that goes farther than a simple surface elaboration. The second is the progressive assessment. So the portfolio assessment can demonstrate how a student's knowledge and skills have managed to grow throughout the course and provides a cumulative way to show what a student has learned. The third is it promotes a shift in ownership. So students take an active role in examining what they have done and what they want to accomplish. So another advantage is it evaluates programs that have flexible or individualized goals or outcomes. So, for example, within a program aimed at improving children's interpersonal skills, some children may need to become less assertive, whereas children may need to become more assertive. So, another is it promotes individual talent. So, every student in a class has unique abilities. Some Some students excel at composition, while others excel at audiovisual performances. Using, per- Using a portfolio as an assessment format allows students to showcase their greatest work and gives every student an opportunity to shine. So that's all the advantages that I will share today. And then sa disadvantages na punta sa portfolio. Na may advantages na ko'y disadvantage ka na. So the first disadvantages is it is time consuming. So it takes time to create and evaluate portfolio. It requires a significant amount of effort from both student and teacher, and it is a demanding endeavor in which you can quickly fall behind. So, ang portfolio assessment ganit, amo jud time consuming jud kay like sa pag-prepare pa lamang, sa pag-guide sa student, sa paghimo, then dugay dugay pud na mahimo ang usa ka output na i-include sa portfolio assessment, so it is time consuming. So overwhelming pud isa pud na ka disadvantages kay students are frequently overburdened with assessment from various subjects affecting their affecting the study efficiency. So of course, a portfolio assessment kay di as a student, dili na mao atong gibuhat na mapatay subject focus and take exam like that. So, maka-affect siya sa atong study efficiency, which is the time consuming pa jud ni, like it may take more than a day, ipataka jud ka focus, kinapoy uban sa na aton, ibang na ito malimag libog na taon sa unahon, so overwhelming jud pud ni portfolio. So, the subjective food kay portfolio evaluations are highly subjective in nature man. Even if the teacher uses a rubric, the individualized essence of a portfolio makes remaining objective and adhering to the rubric tricky. Two students working on the same learning standard may take two differing approaches and thus their learning vary. So every student man jud kay lahi man jud pud ang ilang learning style. So pag imo nahatagan og kuan kanang kanang same objective, same learning standard, lahi jud pud ang approach. So na to hag human pag human na task. Dili man ta pares tanan og huna or pace of learning. So lack of standardization. So lack siya kay subjective baya. So when a student uses a portfolio to self-assess their strong points, the lack of a standard guarantees that a wide range of diverse results are produced. Portfolios reveal characteristics of individual talent such as age, gender, race, which may affect the neutrality of the evaluation process. So, ang portfolio ba ya kay kuan na ako yung makover so like in arts, tama na mga painting, mga kuan pa, mga model. So, mga iba-iba dyan na. So, ako dyan siya na kuan variety of results ma-produce. Kay kuan ba yan nga asa mo excel ang sa estudyante nga na siya mo focus which is ang everyone kay dili na baya pareha kay lahi sila areas mo excel. That's why ma-affect jud ang neutrality of the evaluation process. So grading challenges could hapon na ka disadvantage. So grading a portfolio can be difficult because each one is distinctive. Iba-iba ta. A strong rubric can help a teacher evaluate the content of a portfolio, but even then there is a lot of subjectivity when comparing one portfolio to another, making it more difficult to allocate grades fairly. So, kay tungod sa subjectivity, distinctive ta, then ma-compare pa ato portfolio sa usa bisag sa lahi-lahi tag gihimo kanyan. Ano jud og kuan. Okay, iba-iba mag aspects. Another grading concern with a portfolio is that it typically allows the student to showcase her strengths while concealing her weaknesses, resulting in an incomplete picture of what the students know or understand. So portfolios typically do not include students' ability to recall facts. So they cannot be used in a place of more typical form of assessment. So, kuning disadvantage, no? Kay lahi-lahi man lagi tag ipas, asa ta mo excel, asa ta mag-confident, tapos mo man din atong i-showcase para kay ang purpose kaya kay i-showcase ato sa na-excel. So, ang ato na po i-display kay mga kung asa ta confident na damoy people makataw. So, time so makuan jud siya kanang ma-conceal atong weakness and mo-shine ang atong kuan ang atong where we are best. So, ang pagka-grade, nato na mo-focus. Tapos, ito mo, is incomplete picture pa kay atong gi-conceal atong weaknesses. So, sa guidelines of construction na ta. So, the first guideline is to ensure the students that they know what the objectives of the portfolio assessment. So, students will be more likely to achieve the given goals if the objectives are clearly conveyed to them. It serves as a guide for students as they work through the portfolio and evaluate their progress. Learning objectives Learning objectives are the most powerful if it follows the SMART guide. So of course, kung kahibaw ang students na unsay objective, katudas lang mo focus. Atoy, amo po ila i-guide through the process of making their work. So, of course, the objective should be followed the SMART, which is like measurable, attainable. So, the stand guideline, so inform the students on important matters. So, give the students the information about the time frame, guidelines, requirements, and assessment criteria, as well as any items that are not to be included. Students should also be aware of who will be grading them. So, of course, the important matters ay ang deadline, as say, guidelines, mga requirements, of ang criteria. And they should also be aware kung may grade sa ila work. Diba ila ang teacher, ang sabay judge, or ila classmates or within the group. So, ano mga examples sa important matters. So, prepare a structured marking sheet or rubrics for all assessors. So, the rubric should include all of the necessary elements for the student's work or performance to be of high quality. Learning how to properly construct and apply a rubric will lead to a more efficient and consistent grading process for both the teacher and the student. The primary goal of a rubric is to consistently and fairly evaluate a student's work. So it is good to prepare a rubric in advance. Kay mao maning guide sa pag-grade sa every student fairly. So, ang sudpod sa rubric ay napud nito na necessary elements to evaluate the quality or performance of the student. Na ang atong, like for example, creativity, cleanliness, punctuality is one of the should be included in the rubrics. So, the fourth guideline is to provide a feedback kay important is for a good portfolio assessment. So, giving students feedback entails explaining what they are doing properly and improperly, with the emphasis on what the students are doing correct. When the student is given a clarification of what is correct and incorrect about their work, it is most beneficial to their learning. The providing is good for the students kay ato sila makahibaw kung asa sila mali o sakto. Tapos kung makahibaw sila mali, pwede nila pwede matatak na sila himahuna na di na nila buhaton balik. Kung mature sila, or they will not do the same mistake again. Mature and improve their way of creating their works. So, the sa example data sa mga portfolio assessment, lab reports. So, maunang preferably makita ning lab report sa nag-eskwela sa agriculture, sa business, agribusiness, naman sa sa mga science, sa major, tapos na sila lab report. Like, they doing an experiment, then they will create a lab report which contains their what they did do to sa ila na-observe, unsay results, ganyan, which are provided naman sa lab guide, lab reports guide. So, artwork, another example, so mga painting, mga poster, mga like related sa art o sa pagkatiha, like create for aesthetic purposes. Routine assignment. So, ma-include na din mga essay, mga poems, so ma-include na diri showcase or presentation. So, mga ano school ninyo dito, like, ano lang, mga output na nindot i-present. Ma-showcase to the audience. So, that's it. I hope you learned something from me about the purposes and about the portfolio assessment and its purposes. Thank you and goodbye.